So I've 3D printed some eyes and they're alive. This is one of the coolest projects I've done in ages. This is Will Cogley's animation eye mechanism, the Epsilon 3.2 series. Will is a London-based engineer who's been iterating on this for years. He runs NM Robotics, sells the controller boards and ultra-realistic eyeballs. The design is open source and you can download the STL files for free from Printables or MakerWorld. It uses 6 SG90 micro servos for each pair of eyes, giving you up, down, left, right and eyelid control. You can drive it with Will's dedicated controller board, which is based on an RP2040, or the Raspberry Pi Pico W on a breadboard, which is what I'm doing. I'm running Will's MicroPython script, which makes the eyes randomly look around, and it's quite mesmerising. Looks very natural. I ordered a box of 10 SG90 servos from Amazon. They're marked up there as a different type, but they are SG90s. I only needed 6 of these, but it's always good to have some spares. So I downloaded the files from the Google Drive link. So if you go to the designs, the eye mechanism, and then if you click on the CAD files link, it'll actually open up a Google Drive link. So I downloaded this and then I opened it up in Prusa Slicer. I have a Prusa Core 1 printer behind me, and I opened up the SG90A. So there's 2 different types of servo that you can have. There's the SG90s, which has the little plastic spindle on it, and there's the Metal Gear version, the MG90, and that has the metal gearing. And there's this little test plate you can see that's got A and B, and you can test out to see which is the better fit. So that particular one for the metal one is A, and these little servos I've got here that I've got 10 of, they also work best in the A. So it's the A model that we're going to be using for this. So I've come back over here to the files. We've got these eyemech Epsilon 3.2 SG90A. So if I open that up in Prusa Slicer, so you can see there some of the items are off the build plate, so we'd have to move them around so we can manually juggle some, but what I did is I took off that large thing and then printed all these parts at the same time. Now one of the problems I had was these are print in place parts, so the idea is that you print them and they'll be able to rotate inside the part. So for example this little part here, and also the eye mechanisms, they've got these little parts that swivel round and you print them in place. But look at this, some of the parts are not quite where they should be, so that should be inside that part there. So you can see that's kind of become misaligned, and there's a few other parts as well that are also incorrectly positioned, and this is down to opening this file that was designed for Bamboo Labs inside Prusa Slicer. I think there's another one as well somewhere. There we go, these ones here are also incorrect. So I looked online and I found a solution that said what you need to do is open this from Printables and then use the Easy Slice option. So let's go and try that. So if I come over here to Printables, I've got the eyemech. I just searched for eyemech, and there it is, the animatronic eye mechanism. And we can actually open this up. If we click on that download button there, we can actually open this up in Easy Print. Easy Print is like the Prusa Slicer, but it's a version that works through your browser. That one there, let's open up that in Easy Print, continue. And you can see that it's put some of the other things on a second build plate. I decided to print this one separately, so I took that one off and then moved these across onto here so that it was all going to be printed on one plate. And if you can see now, these items are actually positioned in the correct way. So that's print in place there, that's printed in place there. All these parts look correct, and I can send that to my printer and it'll print out fine. So that's how I got around that issue. So I did actually have 2 failed prints before I realised this. This is when I went searching for a solution. You can see those parts are kind of fused together, and this is the failed parts bin from the first print. So those parts should be positioned differently, and on this one they're kind of fused together or sat on top of. So a bit frustrating. You can see just how much stuff there is there. There's also a lot of support materials, which is quite fiddly to remove. It was a lot easier when I did the Easy Slice version. Clearly that's a better rendering of the print job. So then to wire this up, I used a Raspberry Pi Pico. This is a Pico W. Could have just used a Pico. And I've got the wires connected in the same configuration as on Will's diagram. So he specifies GPIO pins to use. I think it's 10 to 15 to these on this left hand side here, and also we need 5 volts, so I'm taking that from the USB power pin at the very top, and the ground is the sort of third pin on the right there. I'm also just using a little helper circuit that I designed, which is my servo helper. So this servo helper simply allows you to connect up servos and then a single pin to your microcontroller, and you can also power that either externally or from the microcontroller itself. These are very low power servos, so not much of a problem to do that. Then I simply use Will's MicroPython code. It's really well written, and that's the moment of truth when we run this. So let's get the code up and running, and I'll show you that running fine. So the first thing I did do was calibrate. There's a nice little calibrate function at the top of the code, and this one will go to each of the named servos, and it will then put it to a neutral position, so 90 degrees. And there's instructions in the build PDF file that tells you how to position each of the different parts of the eye. So the eyelids are looking straight ahead, the eyelids are closed, and that's the default position. I commented that out when I want to run it, and if I now just plug in my cable. So I've got the eyes here, let me now run the code, and we shall see it start to move around randomly. Now this isn't my first rodeo with animatronic eyes. I've actually built quite a few projects that use animatronic eyes in the past. Let's talk about some of those. This is the InMoov robot that I built that I call Sonny, and it has an eye mechanism which has a different approach than Will's. I had some issues with the InMoov eyes catching and sticking inside the mechanism, particularly with the jaw mechanism. You can see here where it's sort of opening its mouth as I move the eyes left and right. And the InMoov eye mechanism is complex in some ways but less refined in its movement. It doesn't have the eyelids, for example. Now I thought maybe this was just an issue. This was one of the very first prints I made with my 3D printer, so maybe this was just an issue with the quality of the print. So I printed out a second version of this that I called iZacker, and iZacker had the exact same problem, so it's clearly a design fault. The cool thing about Sonny is it has an integrated camera in one of the eyes. So this is a Microsoft Live camera. You have to sort of butcher the thing to get it to fit inside the 3D print. We can see that I'm moving the eyes back and forward. You can see there a bit of a close-up. There's the actual lens of the camera in there. But you can actually see a lot of the eyelid from inside of the robot, which isn't great. So the second eye mechanism I created was one I designed myself. This actually was inspired by Will Cogley's eye mechanism. This one has actually been designed from scratch in Fusion 360. So you see there we've got upper and lower eyelid. If I turn this on, you can see there we've got some nice NeoPixel rings. And there's also an embedded Raspberry Pi camera in that right eye there. There's a close-up of the mechanism working. So this is just running a simple script that has a Pimroni Servo 2040 inside. That's just running a MicroPython script, and I can wear this on my shoulder at events and sort of walk around with it and just have it fire off the routine like that, just from a little USB on-off switch. So there's quite a lot to this design. The fact that it has the upper and eyelid opening, and one servo does both of those actions at the same time. Each eye is independent, so they've got a servo for each of the eye mechanisms. The eyes don't rotate left and right, they simply just face forward. But there is an embedded Raspberry Pi camera, which you can see just there. That's a Raspberry Pi camera module version 3. You can see the NeoPixel ring there, that's made of fruit. That's a 12 pixel NeoPixel ring. And then this is all 3D printed and then made to look like a steampunk kind of colour, so black and then rubbed on kind of gold paint as well. So yeah, this is all my own design. This is called Bubo. Bubo is the name of the steampunk robot owl that you might see in the film Clash of the Titans 1983. Heavily inspired this robot. So the other thing about Bubo is Bubo has got this camera you can see integrated into the eye there. So at an event it's running a Raspberry Pi 5 inside, running some OpenCV software. If you do a hand gesture like that, it can recognise the number of fingers that you're holding up, 2 fingers, left or right hand, it doesn't matter. But it does actually count the digits. If you do that for 3 seconds, it will then take a picture, apply an overlay to that picture, add a filter to that picture, and then tweet that picture out by connecting to my mobile phone at the event if you can actually get a signal. And that's why it's called Bubo Tootie, because he can toot using Mastodon or Twitter. He can tweet out X, I guess, as it is now. But yeah, that's Bubo 2T. And yeah, it's a steampunk-themed robot companion robot owl. Will Cogley's ideas give me some inspiration to maybe revisit these eyes, make them so that they can look around. One of the really cool things I would love to be able to do is have this head so that it can rotate and it can track people, so it can look at somebody and it can stare them out, or it could avoid eye contact. If it sees somebody looking at them, it'll look away. There's all kinds of clever things that we could do with that, just using the Raspberry Pi 5 that's inside. I've got this very hefty battery that I carry around with me. This is I think this is a 20,000 milliwatt amp hour battery, so it does definitely last all day at an event. It's pretty chunky, you can see there. There's probably about 18650 batteries, I think, inside. Yeah, it's still got a full charge. So incidentally, I've got this little Servo consistency master. It's a little tester, and it simply just has a control. You can control a number of servos at the same time. Just going to unplug that top one, so I can just control this without any other microcontroller involved. It's got 3 different modes. You can flick between the different modes, so that will just center them, and then the third one will sweep them left and right. And turn that off back to the control mode. I think one of the eyes is slightly out there. So definitely check out Will's model. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I shall see you next time. Bye for now.